Hey guys, this is an update on some rocks I just cut yesterday. It was those Calandrias again. I got another load in them, about 20 pounds worth, and I haven't finished them. But the best ones that I've cut, I've got right here, and I just wanted to show them to you to just show you what I got. The best one, I want to start with the best to the last or the best to the worst, because of the fact that I'm going to shorten this thing probably for a clip instead of this long one I'm probably going to put on YouTube. So anyway, this was the rock here. I didn't know exactly how to cut it because there was no example or no thing to show what it was going to be except for that right there. So I went that way. Wetted it a little bit because I have not done anything to these things. But look at this. This is all purples in the banding around the edge. Major crystallized in the middle with a little agate there. I don't know if that's also purple. It looks almost like smoke, but I just really like the purple, and I couldn't stand the idea of just doing one deal with this, so I did slabs on this one. This one was the next one in line. I really like that piece right there, that little circle deal. But this again was purple with the crystal in the middle. Just a gorgeous piece, and I wouldn't know, I'm gonna have to clean up both sides of this because I wouldn't know which one was better. You can see the, what do they call those things? This is where it filled, came in and filled. Looks like there might be 3 of them going across there, where it filled this thing up with the crystal and the agate when it was liquid form. I thought these things were gorgeous. I like this side because of that right there, and I think, no, it didn't have a fill line on this one, so, but that's a complete banding. And I think, I hadn't even checked. Yep, it's even got some of that parallax in it, I believe, so on these lines down here. But each one of them had their own characteristic that made them really pretty. I thought this was my best one. There's another one of those fill spots. Flow tube, I forget what they call them, but yeah, right in here you got some of that parallax stuff going on. And the fill lines there. But that thing is gorgeous. You can see the crystal, you can see through the crystal part. I'll show y'all later what I had in mind for these things that I might do, because I just found something at Rolling Hills that I picked up for a good price that I might decide to do with some of these. That is the end piece, or the other end piece, and you can see the, or I can, that parallax going on there. It's kind of like that chatoyancy in my wood. It's not easy to see on camera, but in real life you can definitely see it. It just shows depth inside there in those little spots down in there. Can I get that close? Yeah, look at that. That is really cool. Anyway, that was the best one. This one was like this, and I can cut it again if I choose to, but I don't know. It was pretty cool. There was a lot of banding. I think this one had that parallax too. I got a little cheat sheet over there. I have to keep looking because I can't remember that word, but it's parallax is what it's called. But you can see that one reacting right there when it turns that dark color, and then the other color, I think that's another purple. Yep, got a purple tinge to it too. And then that's the other side. I might end up doing another cut on this one, but seems like a lot of people pay good money when they're just a solid piece. That was my outside to that one, my clue, I guess you'd say. This one, I think this little one was the next gooder one, and it was like that. I cleaned up that edge a little bit just where these could stand up, but they just were kind of had a complete little banding thing in there with a little druzy pocket right in the middle of them. I thought, boy, if you outline that, just out here somewhere, that it would be a really cool earring right there, cleaned up and stuff, made it into a cab for a pair of earrings. I thought would really look cool. That had kind of a purple tint to it too. This one was showing all kind of stuff down here with a big old crystal on the top, so it was pretty obvious what it was going to be, but I thought it was really pretty too once it's wet, because it had all that snowflake in it. See all that snow looking stuff? Don't ask me why that formed like that, but that's what it did. And I want to say that this one, these definitely had that parallax going on. Parallax, however you say it. I thought they were kind of neat. Again, that would be either a cool pendant or some really cool long earrings with that looking so cool. That was my next good find. Let's see on this one. Yeah, this one was a big druzy pocket. It was together like that right there. No clue whatsoever, which is kind of fun, as long as they don't turn out to be duds. And that's what they came up with. The contrast between the black of the rock and the white, that white banding across the top, is really a cool effect to me. You got a big druzy pocket right in the middle. I thought this one would be really cool for just kind of flatten the backside enough that would be a really cool pendant. And then that's the other one. See how it bleeds into the black, which really makes it cool to me. And that had a pretty good druzy pocket too. Thought those were kind of neat. And there were some duds in there, don't get me wrong, so I picked out the best ones. This one was so much purple in it that, again, these are Calandria, but that purple around the edge made these just really cool. Even on the camera I can see that parallax going on right there. See it? That black just turns back and forth. Apparently that's very desirable, very cool looking, and it is to me too. But to be all crystal in the middle, for that to be purple around the edge on that banding is just really a neat effect. And I think the other half of that one busted or something because I didn't even bring it in. So this one was another one like that right there. Didn't give me much of a clue. I saw this green, which I think is just moss. Dirty, in other words, and I started to go the other way across here, but I think this was the best hit on them. Not much color at all, but it does have the banding around it and a big old druzy pocket on both sides, so I hit right in the middle of that druzy pocket. I could feel it on my saw when I hit it, matter of fact. And that's got that parallax too. They act like that's kind of rare, but seems like a lot of this Calandria does that. Really cool effect. I think this was one of the that wasn't a really great one. This one I think was cool on one side but not really on the other. And again, I could cut it again. It was like that was the window that it was showing me, and then I cut that open. It wasn't much to the backside of that, but it was purple. But this one actually was a really cool effect, purple with the parallax on the edge there and stuff. Really deep looking right there. When I polish this thing up, it's going to look like it's got a top on it, That's kind of got a cool shape to it, kind of like a duck there, isn't it? See the beak? There's his body. Okay, that'll end up being picturesque with a little druzy pocket right there in the corner. And then this one, it had this thing on the bottom. I thought about, because this banding goes on around, thought about kind of cutting that at that same angle, but just kind of clean it up and see if it would be a cool effect there that I could smooth off this edge right there and make that whole piece be, continue down there. In other words, I could just take off some of the back for whatever I would want to do with it. But that one was kind of neat. This one was another mystery one that had no way of knowing, so I just took the whitest one that I could. And it had some really tight bandings, some kind of bluish color on the outside there, and then went into the, and it has some depth in it too and all, but I just thought that was kind of cool. Oh, look, there's an eye right there with a wide open mouth. That's kind of like a shark. He's smiling at you. Or a dragon, whatever you want to say he is. But he's kind of neat. Didn't even notice that till just then. And then this was the other kind, the other side, and there was no eyeball on that one. So I'm going to save that one for a picture type deal. That's just too cute. This one had the druzy pocket, had this extra little thing here that was not on the other piece. But that one had a cool look to it too. A lot of banding there and that grayish bluish on the outside. I thought that was kind of a cool find with no reason to think there was going to be anything there. This one, just the way that it got cut, see, there was nothing to show me on this one whatsoever, but just the way it got cut, it seemed like a clam. It had the banding around the edges with a druzy pocket there, a huge druzy pocket, but it goes deeper over in the edges that made it look like a clam. And who knows, maybe that was a clam a million years ago when this started forming. And just the band around here, it's not multiple bands or anything. Not too impressive. That's why I kind of stacked these in that order to show what the best to the last. Like I said, I'm going to cut this short for another one. This one, I don't think that you can see it, but that is a pinkish color, which is the only thing that saved this one from probably being chunked in the trash. It's a pink color, and it doesn't look like rust staining. And so I was going to polish at least one of these to see. And those bots, that's bots down in there, but batropials or whatever they're called. But short bots. But I think once I shine this up and stuff, those little bots will show up even better. It will make it look kind of cool, especially if that pink stays in there. Maybe even trimming some of this off the rock part if I wanted to, depending on what I decided to do with it. This one, was interesting, but nothing spectacular. Just kind of a white blob on there. That looked kind of neat. And then this had those little bots down in there too, that when I polish that up, it's probably going to show them up being kind of neat. Well, that looks like a druzy pocket if I had gotten over just a little bit, but it isn't. It's smooth across there, but it definitely puts some cool contrast on there. Thought that was kind of neat. And then this one, I didn't do much more with this besides cut off this one face, which didn't even stay together. So this was just a one-off. Kind of had that druzy pocket that really needs to be cleaned out. Big, huge one there, but trimmed out in that, all those bands and stuff when I cut that off, really made it kind of look cool. It's just the rock like that. I really wanted to make one more cut to get into this, see if that did any design up there, but I don't know, because then you take away the depth of that right in there. So I might do more with this, but thought that was kind of a neat piece. This one I just kind of trimmed up a little bit around the edge because it already came like that right there. Thought it would be cool just sitting there like that. All that crystal looking stuff right there. And then the banding, I just kind of smooth those up a little bit with my saw. This one also was a pocket when it came, and so I cut this edge off just where it would sit up there. Sits like that right there. Has a little cave look to it with all of this crystal looking in there and stuff. It could be cleaned up and stuff, but this has got some banding in it, but it was very light colored and stuff, and so didn't see any reason to cut into it. Might could break some more of that outer shell off, but we didn't want to break the thing. But you can see the banding where I cut it for a stand, basically. But I thought that was just a cool showpiece if you're into that. Let's try to go in order here. These right here, again, they were impressive, but not, they didn't get to the top of the class there. These have the parallax going on too. Had to use my cheat sheet there. And this one had a fracture, a healed fracture on one side of it. They kind of threw off the, let's see, does that go like that? No, I think that was the way it went, right there. And then this one, I think the other side just broke, so I just brought that in. That one was just kind of a smeary looking thing that I thought was kind of cool, and it has pink right in the middle with some light purple going around it and stuff, which is neat. This one polished up, I'm thinking that it's going to really look kind of cool. Look, now I saw this one already. That's a little bird head. See him right there? I mean, it looks just like a bird. I just think that's just too cool. Or it does to me. What do y'all think? His beak going out that way, and his head's, there's an eye right in the middle. I think that looks like a bird. Anyway, I thought that might look good, cleaned all up and stuff. This one was another one that has a huge amount of depth. This one was probably supposed to be further up in the line, but it was showing me nothing but crystal out here, and I thought, oh God, this is going to be a waste. Well, no, I did see this on this side, and I cleaned that up a little bit to see how far it would go, but it ended up being a lot of crystal. But see, this is what they call a floater. This thing has a deep thing all the way around it. Like that piece right there is just all floating. That's a druzy pocket right there in the middle. Really a cool look to it. When it gets cleaned up and stuff, it's going to have so much depth right down in there. And even that's a floater in a floater with a druzy pocket. Stop. Too cool. Oh, and there's all that cheat sheet parallax going on right in there. They say that happens when it's tight banding, especially when there's depth to it. This is the same thing, a floater thing right there, and then a floater one in the middle. That's just really, this one really should have been probably second in line, and I just missed it. This one was nothing really. Oh, it had the it looks like the solar system, because see all the stars, all those little flakes in there and stuff, kind of makes it look like the solar system. Really cool. And then that druzy pocket right in the middle, it could be cleaned up some, but I liked all that stars and stuff. Looks like the galaxy. This one was another one that I cut the back side of it off just to see what it looked like, and it ended up being really kind of cool, pinks and lavenders and stuff. But that is the front of it, and so I cleaned up, I think, on this edge right here, but that's just kind of, there's banding right in there, but then that big old druzy pocket just really kind of looked cool. So I didn't do anything else to it. This one I cut into 3 different pieces just because it was kind of looking cool from the beginning. I think this is the first one I cut off, and it had all that red in it, which really made it cool with the druzy pocket it goes to that, which didn't look promising at all. But that red showed up, which really made it cool. That was the next piece, I think. Big druzy pocket that goes all the way through. But then that side, to me, is what really looks nice. A completed banding going across there, around it, and then the more decent druzy pocket in the middle. That would probably be cool as a pendant also. That one had a little bitty druzy pocket, big druzy pocket on this side. That one was probably further up in the line also. I just missed it. This one was also pretty cool. Druzy pocket, not a lot of color in there. There's some lavender in real life that is not showing up on the camera, but yeah, that's got some lavender, maybe even a little pink to them, and they're just completely complete, which really makes it flow channel. That's what I was trying to think of a while ago. When on that big one, when you got that going in there, it's a flow channel. A little late, huh? This one was just a mess, but I just thought it ended up being kind of cool because it looks like something swirled in there. Just like when I work with epoxy and people swirl some white into the thing, that's what this looks like, but it was done by nature, which I thought was very cool looking. Might would make for a good cab. That one really looks neat, like an unformed chicken or something if you was looking inside the egg. And then this one is, I didn't think this one was too impressive, but let's see. Yep, this one had pink and lavender on the outside there, which I know you can't tell that by the thing. Had a little druzy pocket, cool shape to it, looked like a arrowhead kind of. And this one, the druzy pocket was really dark right there. Still looks kind of like an arrowhead. But that's pink and stuff banding around the edge. Let's see what happens if I get on up close. 22 minutes. I don't know if I've ever made one that long. And then this one, I think, was a piece of junk. Let's see. I don't know why I brought it in. Let's see. Nope, don't know why I brought that thing in. Just kind of a blob. Some banding down in here, but really dark. That one might even be thrown in the trash, I don't know. And is that it? I think that was it. Well, thanks for watching. I know it was a long video, but I'll shorten it up for a clip or something. So, thanks for watching.